said goodbye to 2020 and welcomed in a new year with the hope of eliminating COVID-19. What are the priorities for the City of Dublin in 2021? We'll find out in this week's Dublin News Now. Joining me now is City Manager Dana McDaniel. Dana, thanks for being here today. So 2020, what can I say? It was challenging. But when I think back to March, when we had to cancel our State of the City and the St. Patrick's Day Parade and our event for the opening of the bridge, we never contemplated a pandemic the magnitude of COVID-19.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, challenging is an understatement, as we both well know. But yeah, who would have anticipated that? And as much as we planned for emergency management, we even had a pandemic plan on the books. We've had one since 2008. We've trained for this sort of thing, hoping it would never happen, and here it was, and it happened. And so, yeah, it certainly has been a significant event and such a sad event in so many ways. The effect on our community and not being able to do the things that we're used to doing and celebrating and being together as a community actually makes community not a community. But I think what we've done is we've done a great job as a city and in partnership with our residents and all of our various partners in the community, that are not-for-profits, our faith community, service organizations and the like, to still bring a sense of community to Dublin despite all of those challenges. And I think it's brought us together a lot more as a community, and we're going to be a stronger community as a result on the backside of this.
So with a vaccine here, but it could be months before the majority of the population gets a vaccine. What are some of the priorities or areas of focus for the city this year?
Yeah, and thanks for bringing up the vaccine. Certainly that gives us a lot of hope for 2021, but it's going to be a while before that vaccine is fully distributed. And we do hope that our residents will take advantage of that vaccine and use it and take it, and hopefully that will get us the immunities that we need so that we can all get back to some semblance of normal. But our focus in 2021 is going to continue to do what we do best, and that's we're going to continue to provide fundamental services. Our city council has granted us a 2021 operating budget that's going to continue to allow us to provide the fundamental services, essential services to our residents that we have all through 2020. We really haven't missed a beat. We've had in 2020, we've had to just sort of modify the way we've provided some of those services, but for the most part, all of our services have been the same. And in 2021, there will be no reduction in those fundamental services. Same with our capital programs. City Council has funded a great capital program and will continue to do those as well. So I'm really looking forward to a hopeful 2021, and frankly one that I think is pretty exciting, and we got a lot to do next year.
The business community has had an impact with COVID-19. So you mentioned the budgets. Tell us a little bit about the city's finances.
Yeah, for the most part, our economy here, our microeconomy here in Dublin as part of the region, has been very resilient. Our businesses, if you look at the tax revenues as an indicator, have actually been much stronger than we thought it would be, and very consistent in terms of the previous year, 2019. So that's a good news story. The bad news story, as we all know, is the impact on the hospitality industry and the restaurant industry, and certainly they have really taken a hit through this pandemic. So while there's been this overall economic crisis, we've had some good news and we've had some not so good news. So we certainly have tried to work with our restaurants, the hospitality community, as much as we can, and we made some changes for our restaurants so that they can continue to operate and have people actually visit the restaurants and be able to enjoy dining out with outside seating and the like. Of course, we're into a season now where that's not so easy, so we want to encourage our residents to continue to support those businesses, our restaurants and the like, as much as they can.
What else can we look forward to in 2021? I mean, I feel this message of hope. We are hopeful, but I know there's some things that we are working on in 2021.
Right. Well, again, I want to encourage our residents to stay vigilant as it relates to COVID-19 and do all those things that you need to do to protect yourself and your family. Um, and then, but outside of that, I'm hopeful that, and I feel very confident that we will be very busy as a city. So we have some great projects coming forward. I think if you go out to the west side of town, you see the steel coming up on the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center Ambulatory Care Center. That is coming out of the ground. The new University Boulevard will start to take shape there. We have a new rehabilitation hospital that has opened up on Emerald Parkway close to Sawmill Road. It's a very exciting project. We have a cancer treatment center that Ohio Health is opening on Perimeter Drive. I believe that additional blocks in Bridge Park remain on a trajectory to build out, and hopefully that will continue as well to see that exciting project come forward. We have other economic development projects in the pipeline. As much as we hear about people not ever coming back to the office or coming back to work, I actually think that based on what we're seeing and hearing, that there's going to be projects in the pipeline that are very economic development based. We have had some projects that are new to existing facilities, and in fact, we got a great report this last quarter that showed that the absorption rate of our commercial office was one of the highest in the region, and we were actually at about a 16% vacancy rate there last year, which was the highest we'd been for a while, and we dropped down to 12%, which is a really good spot to be in. And as we've said for many years, you kind of, as a city, want to be in about an 8 to 12% vacancy rate in your office setting so that people have the ability to move and grow and expand within the community and to attract others. So I think we're in a really good position going into 2021.
Dana, talk to us a little bit about some of the city facilities under construction right now.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's very exciting too. So who doesn't notice Riverside Crossing Park? Of course, we opened the pedestrian bridge this last year in a somewhat uneventful way, as you pointed out earlier, but we'll hopefully get back to celebrating that at the appropriate point. But you've been able to walk that, you've been able to see the Riverside Crossing Park on the east side of the river unfold. It'll continue to unfold throughout 2021. It'll be significantly complete in 2021, but there will be some things to be done into 2022. So we'll see how that goes, see how the grass grows as to whether we can really get out and enjoy all of it or not, but very excited about that. Also the North Pool, which we completely redesigned and started over, scraped the old pool, started over with a new one. That will be complete in 2021. And then we have the expansion of the new City Hall. We are adding on a council chambers, which is bigger and better than the one that we had before, and will certainly be, as much as we got done in the old City Hall and the old council chambers, the new one is going to be much bigger and more inviting to the public so that we can have more public engagement.
That's great. Speaking of council, let's talk about council goals a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So very excited about that. One of the things I guess I'd really like to speak to is the Resolution 4120 that City Council passed this last year that established a community task force and it established the Chiefs Advisory Committee. Both of those are intended to help the community sort of do a self-assessment, help the city to do a self-assessment as an organization relative to bias, equity, social injustice. And so we formed those committees, the task force and the Chiefs Advisory Committee, sort of the latter part of 2020. They really started getting their legs under them and started to get momentum here at the end of the year. I think they're going to do a lot of exciting work going into 2021 and a lot of work towards just trying to raise awareness and understanding in the community, sort of a self-assessment, and help advise council as to a way ahead. Another one is Connected Dublin. So we're working to be the most connected city in the country, if not in the world. I think we had a good start on that. We've been tapped as a top 7 community in the world, intelligent community in the world, a couple times, and that's really a tribute to the connectedness that we had. Connectedness meaning our broadband connectedness. This was really formulated out of a futuristic goal about the future of work. Looking 5+ years out, well, that happened yesterday with the pandemic, right? So now we feel a little bit behind as much as we thought we were ahead. So we've got a little catching up to do in 2021, but pretty excited about that. Also, a very future forward-looking, City Council established a goal to do what we call a 2035 framework plan, and that is focused on taking the existing community plan and updating that and really trying to forward look out to 2035. Exciting conversation, trying to be very future looking. A lot of people probably think, well, gee, Dublin's pretty well built out, and the reality of it is we're not. We've got quite a bit more to build out, but it's not just about building out the physical environment. It's also about what are the future of services going to look like? What's the future of mobility going to look like? What's Dublin's place in the region and frankly in the world? And I think it's going to be a really exciting conversation. And just to remind everyone, these conversations like this are tough right now in this environment. We're doing a lot of work online, and as you know, and we're doing a lot of streaming, but we're trying to find ways, and I think we've been successful to bring people, the community, into those conversations. We'll continue to work hard at that in any way we can. We'll leverage all the tools we have available to do that until such a time we can all be back together. But the goal is to do these things together and make sure the public's involved, and we're looking forward to a time too when we can all be back in the room together and talking about these things.
We do look forward to that, Dana. If there's one message you would like to leave today for the community, what would that be?
Well, I certainly think that would be a message of hope. 2020 has been a tough year. It's been challenging for everyone, but there's excitement ahead, there's hope ahead, and we'll get this behind us. We'll come through the other side of this on a sprint. And so I certainly want to encourage our residents to have that first and foremost in their mind. Let's endure this thing that's in front of us right now, and let's get it behind us.
Dana, thank you. Thank you for your time today. We really appreciate this message to the community. And stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected. Thanks for watching.